1 men's doubles pair. Fajar Alfian and Mohammad Rian Ardianto take on Liu Yuchen and Oh Xuanyi of China, the 5th seeds. And I've been reliably informed ahead of this match that right now the most popular players in Indonesia are the 2 men about to come out. So you're going to hear a lot of noise all over again. This is the path to the finals. And we've already seen her and To will play the winners of this match. It could be an all-China affair. And of course, the fans here will be hoping for an all-Indonesia final. Kanando and Martin up against Hoki and Kobayashi in the other semi-final. So, let's see what happens here. Well, had a great day at the office, the Indonesians, in that sense. And Alfian Ardianto would have come in here anyway with big hopes, being the #1 pair here.
Please welcome the players. Fajar Alfian.
Listen to that noise. Here it comes. No pressure, guys. I think that's the message right now from these fans. They want results. They want to get something out of here today. They want to go back happy. And these 2 probably carry their greatest hopes. And as I said, hugely popular. Standing in their way, Liu Yuchen leading from the front, as he usually does with this pair. Oh Xuanyi behind him. And after beating 2 other favourites here, Marcus Gideon and Kevin Sukamuljo yesterday, and that was actually more a time than anything else. They were leading though at the halfway stage of the 3rd game, the Chinese pair. Well, the fans here were hoping it won't be another Indonesian scalp to their names. So it's 2-2 at the moment. They met very recently at the World Tour finals, which went the way of the Chinese pair. And it came in the semi-final, which they went on to win, Liu Yuchen and Oh Xuanyi. They won in 3, very tight match, that one. The 3rd game ended 21-19. First 2 games, 22-20 to Liu and Oh, 21-11 to Alfian and Ardianto. So it'll be fascinating to see what kind of match we're going to have here today. It's been a good start to the year for Alfian and Ardianto. They've lost just 1 match so far this year out of 9. 27 years of age, Fajar Alfian is from Bandung, one of the major cities here in Indonesia, 175 centimeters tall, and of course playing his best badminton at the moment in terms of rankings. And they have won a couple of bronze medals at the World Championships 2019-2022. His partner Ardianto, Mohammad Rian Ardianto, 26, from Bantul. Thomas Cup, of course, with Indonesia in 2020. Last year a silver, sorry, and a bronze in 2018. Asian Games, they were the silver medalists in the home games here in the men's doubles and the men's team. Asian Team Championships, they won a gold in 2020. Asian Championships, a bronze in 2022. So, they played fellow Indonesians Kusuma Wardana and Rambitan in 3, also 3 for Chang Ko Chi and Paul Yue. We'll talk about that in a short while. That was a testing match after the first game that they lost, but they came through it. Liu Yuchen is 27. He's a big man, a tall man, isn't he? 193 from the capital, Beijing. And his highest ranking is actually #1 in the world, but that was with Lee Junhui, and that was in 2017 in April. Oh Xuanyi is 29. He's slightly shorter, but still very tall at 189 centimeters tall. He's from the south of China, Fujian province, and he is in 5th place. And these 2 have won already 3 titles together. Last year when they were paired up, Indonesia Open, Australia Open, and the World Tour Finals. They're the results for you. Very, very easy match against Kjær and Søgaard in the first round, but then a tester of sorts against Gideon and Sukamuljo, which I had mentioned to you a little earlier. Mansour Jarjan from Iran, Daniel Zuraidi, the service judge from Malaysia. So 3 titles, as I mentioned, for the Chinese pair. They also had a couple of runners-up spots at the German Open and Korea Masters. And they've really just leapt up the rankings, haven't they? Been excellent in 2022, and as I said, rounded off with that fantastic win at the World Tour Finals. On his own, in men's doubles, rather, Oshwani before teaming up with Liu Chen, he's won the Indonesia Masters. Not this one, the Super 100 version of this. Akita Masters in Japan and the US Open. That's when he was with a couple of other different partners. Liu Chen, of course, as I mentioned, is with Li Junhui when they were the #1 pair. And ironically, they only won 3 titles together, same as he's already won in 1 year with Oshwani. He won the Macau Open in 2019 and Malaysia Open, as well as the World Tour Finals as well in 2018. But they've already bettered, they've already equaled that record in this pairing. And we must add that Alfian and Ardianto, their record is already 9 titles and 5 runners-up medals as well. Last year they won the Denmark Open and the Malaysia Open, as well as the Malaysia Masters. It's a bright start from Liu and Oh. Yeah, it was actually a very good year for this doubles pair from Indonesia. They were the most successful pair last year. Yeah, very good start, isn't it? Liu and Oh, aggressive, taking the game to their opponents. Fadra Alfian, Mohamed Ardianto, 4 finals. They won Denmark Open, Indonesia Masters, Malaysia Masters, and Swiss Open. That's a 750, 2 500s, and a 300. And the runners-up at the Malaysia Open, Korea Open, Thailand Open, and Singapore Open. That's a 750 and 3 500s. So they really did splendidly well, so they'd be disappointed not to have gone further in the World Tour Finals. Their first point will be greeted very well, and there you go. They're off the mark.
1-3.
The placement was great. Was that in? They are gonna, it looks contentious, didn't it? Immediately, both of them, Liu and Oh, put their hands up to challenge that. Sliding across, those are the difficult ones. Very, very much in. Well, it was such conviction that they challenged that. And I thought they might have had a case, but clearly not. The lead is just 1 now. Haven't had too many rallies just yet. Well, there was a bit of indecision at the start of that rally between Liu and Oh. They seem to have recovered. And they couldn't really turn defense into attack. Well, they're drawn level. And I think you're going to get another almighty roar when they take the lead here. Mo Xuanyi and Liu Yuchen won 2 tournaments last year, as I mentioned, Indonesia Open, so fond memories here in Jakarta, and the Australian Open, 2 runners-up performances in the German Open and Korea Masters. So for a new pair to have come in and done all that, well, it does speak volumes for them. And the very interesting thing is they were one of only 3 pairs. These 2 pairs here on court were one of only 3 that won titles of the 8 finalists at the World Tour Finals. Which does show, I suppose, things are in rude health in many ways, that titles are being shared around. That was the point, the space to be exploited by Alfian. Got both of them on the same side of the court, sucked them in a bit. Easy to finish off. Oh, did it just bend in? Well, there is some sideways drift, and it was going sort of left to right yesterday, and I just wonder, well, that's just playing a little part, just pushing that in. That may well have helped. Left to right from where we are, from behind the Chinese players, sort of on that side. And they're now taking a 2-point lead. Couldn't finish it off there, but they should here. Well, that lead now increased to 4. They're happy. How about that one? And all of a sudden, it looks much better for the Indonesians. 11-6, halfway point of game 1.
Ya, 1-2 ke depannya masih ngadu ya. Ada bagus-bagusin naruh belokin. Ya, nah, yang urus kadang mau lagi, dan drive ke sana balikin ke isi langsung.
大家站住，他挡下来这样创造你给他嘛，不着急，长腿扣两个，不要轻易就在空中追平了都。耐心。11, 6, 6.
So they're just increasing their lead at the moment. And after a very bright start from Liu and O, they've just been caught out here, haven't they? It's been excellent from Alfian and Ardianto. That's well wide, isn't it, by Alfian?
7-1.
There, fantastic.
37.
Well, they're just increasing that lead. It's 3-1 since the interval. They have continued where they left off. They're not letting up here. They're keeping that pressure going. Now, just a word of warning for those who might be getting rather excited by this. Liu and O lost the first game against Gideon and Sukamulyo, though it was much closer. 1921 they lost it, and they came back in style and won the second game 21-8. Still some way to go in this first one. Tried the drop there from the back. Bit of deception there, Ardianto. Still a very healthy 6-point lead. Well, it was a barrage of attacking shots from the back. Ardianto really going hammer and tongs at them. Liu and O, they were finding it tough. And this game might already look like a bust for the Chinese pair with the big lead. They've got 8-point lead, 4 away from wrapping it up. Need to do something very drastic from here. And that's a start, isn't it? from Liu-Chen. That 7-point run earlier on, before the interval, has certainly helped lay the foundations.
Mark 2, 20 seconds. Mark 2, 20 seconds.
Too easy. Ardianto puts that away. They're cruising this one at the moment. Reminder, they already started the year with a bang. They won the Malaysia Open, beating compatriots of their opponents today, Lang Wei Kung and Wang Chung. They got to the semi-finals. Surprisingly lost to Aaron Chia and So Yik. It's the only match they've lost so far, though they have gone to 3 in their previous 2 matches. The net playing a big part in that one. Leaping into the air. Ardianto makes no mistake. Snatching at that one, Oshwanyi.
20. Game point 11.
Well, that was over quick, wasn't it? They won that easily after the interval. 10-5 they won. And then it was 11-6 at the break. They have been superb after a bit of a sluggish start for the Indonesians. They never really looked back after that 7-point run that led them towards the interval. They've been excellent, and they've won that first game with ease, 21-11.
Geser ke kiri atas kakinya dulu, gangguin dari servis terus biar ya 1-2 di lapangan ini loh. Kalau lo mainnya lo manjang nggak apa-apa, tetap di depannya mesti pegang, ya pegang itu.
Tinggal defense-nya aja, kalau defense-nya kan kalau diselewat lewatin, kalau bisa datarin ini telat passing, atau kalau bisa dibelokin ya.
反正这些球不让他棒打得那么凶，那么出来，我节奏起来。好吧，还是要啊，对他调整。我们少的时候也是，少的特别凶，他回来也把他借我们地。我们正常帮他带着连贯，好，给他，让他先加力，没问题的，跟他对。
Lo tembak dulu ke backhand sekali, dia ngangkat, baru tembak ke tangan. Ya, oke.
Taruh dia kan itu belok.
Naruh aja, naruh depannya harus berani megang, biar ya. Jom, tembaknya ke kanan.
Kalian ke kanan.
Oh, geser.
Court 1, 20 seconds. Court 1, 20 seconds. Players on court. Court. Second game, love all. Play.
So interesting to see now how Liu and O approach this. Remember, as I said, they came back with a vengeance in the second game against Gideon and Sukamulyo. Right now, it's the Indonesians here on a roll.
Service over. 3-1.
Well, they've really put on a good run here. Something like 6 of the last 7 points have gone their way.
Service over.
Well, until then, of course.
3.
Well, Oshuan and Yu Chan were out in the quarterfinals of the Malaysia Open and the same round of the India Open. They've not quite been able to replicate their form from last year. Not yet, anyway.
4-2.
As I said, these were 2 of the in-form pairs of last year, and hence that's why all 4 of their meetings have come last year. Started the Asian Championships in April.
Service over.
And they do want to avenge their loss here at the Indonesian Open. Alfian and Muhammad Rian Ardianto losing in the quarterfinals. That's good, that's it. They've drawn level now.
4-4.
It was sort of the other way around the start at the first game, where it was the Chinese pair who did well, and then Alfian and Ardianto caught up and then surged ahead. Are we going to see the reverse happen here now?
Play.
They take the lead for the first time in a long time.
5-4.
Liu and Oh, not since before the interval of the first game.
Service over.
This is where home support really has to
5-4.
make its presence felt. Defending well. This rally being kept alive. Both sides have defended well, and that's great work, isn't it? At the net from Liu Chen. Well, they looked like they were under pressure for a little bit. They withstood it.
6-5.
33 shots, that one. Couple of very good points there for Liu and Oh.
7-5.
And they're now just trying to be a bit more aggressive. The CHN has had 3 winners in a row. 3 very good points here for UNO overall, leading now by 3 as well. Well, now starting to pull away, Liu and O. But there is a challenge here.
Ardianto challenges Paul E.
If they win this, it'll be only 2 points. If they lose it, it goes up to 4. So this is quite critical. And that is very much in.
Challenge unsuccessful. 1 challenge
So,
remaining.
4 points now, the lead for Liu and O. They're in a good position here.
Play.
Well, they needed that badly, didn't they? The pair that were voted most improved players in 2022. Alfian and Ardianto, and they also got ranked #1 in the world. Alfian taken to social media to say just how grateful he was. And they reckon they're going to get stronger and stronger.
Service over.
And they thanked everyone who had supported them.
10-6.
And right now they're under a little bit of pressure here.
Service over.
Remember, it was 11-6 that Alfian and Ardianto led, and they never really looked back after that. It was pretty much one-way traffic.
3-6.
And they're closing that gap.
10.
Rescued it, not this time. Liu Chen puts it away.
Service over.
And at the interval in game 2, it's Liu and O that lead 11-8. But Alfian and Ardianto have taken the first game. It's very nicely poised at the moment.
Kalau ngandung tenaga kalah karena
要一定要忍得住，一定要忍得住啊！现在他们攻击力已经下来了，啊，他刚才带着打球，你不顶上去绝对能接的，什么有什么问题啊？攻击力已经下来了，啊，沉得住，沉得住，一分分球权在我们手上，啊，深呼吸再发，不着急的。
kita mainnya mesti nolok panjang.
Dia kan duluin dari servis. Kalau misalkan dia servis tengah, lu asal dorong aja gitu. Jangan terlalu buka.
Jangan buka berat. Ya, ayo nyoba dulu saja. Ayo.
11-8. Play.
Now a crucial period here for Alfian and Ardianto. They'll obviously not want to risk going to 3. Right on the attack there, Alfian. Yesterday they were very grateful for winning that match against the Chinese Taipei pair without injury. They did admit that they were far behind in points in the first game, and they made a lot of mistakes, unforced errors, because they weren't prepared for the opponent's game. Second and third game, they certainly did improve. They were bolder, more aggressive, got more used to their opponent's pattern of play, and they were more confident. And that affected the opponents. And Fajar Alfian has also talked about the conditions here at the Astora, which has its own challenges. He felt that the shuttles are heavier than 2 or 3 years ago, and that the sideways drift as well is having an impact. So heavier shuttle, sideways drift are the 2 important factors according to the players. Doesn't get it over Ardianto.
39.
And it's talked about the different conditions because it was very drifty in Malaysia. In India, there's almost no drift at all. The weather was cold, so no air conditioning. So they have to adapt, which I think makes it interesting, obviously. They're up against it here, 4 behind. It's good work from Liu and Oh. Can they maintain this? Okay, good.
49.
Just clipping the net. Six points now in a very good position. Very similar to what we saw in the last game, but the other way around. There was a drive, there was lots of power in it, difficult for Liu Chen to maneuver. Delicately done by Ardianto. So the lead is now 4, and they want to get it to about 2 or 3 minimum striking distance. But we are starting to get towards the business end of this second game. If the move is to be made by Alfian and Ardianto, pretty much has to be from here on in. Very nicely done himself there, Liu Chen.
60-11.
Good disguise. Important point to pull back. They need a few more of those, though.
60.
So what they're not able to do at the moment is put on a decent run of points. Alfian and Ardianto. They don't have not managed more than 2 consecutive points in this second game. And really now at 17, they've got to just put on 4 or 5 for themselves. That is now making things difficult. It looks like we are going to be edging towards a third game, a rubber. Unless something relatively special happens here on.
Service over. 13-18.
Again, these booming smashes. They need to turn it into attack if they can, the Indonesians. Difficult coming down from a steep angle. These are tall players, Liu and O.
19-13.
Again, so well done. That was Xuan Yi.
20, game point, 13.
The angle, so little weight put on it, takes the pace off it completely. And there are 7 game points here for Liu and O. So it's 1-1 then. I think this one was always destined to be a match that goes the distance. We're going to go into a third very shortly.
Court 1, 20 seconds. Court 1, 20 seconds. Players on court. You, O, you. Final game, love all. Play.
So it is now going into a third game here, this match between Fajar Alfian and Muhammad Rian Ardianto up against Liu Chen and Xuan Yi. So quite a nice little rivalry going.
Service over.
Fifth time
1-love.
they have faced off in the last 9 months. An indication of the upward trend I think these two pairs have had.
Service over. 1-all.
Both pairs, of course, didn't start particularly well in the games that they ended up winning. As the opponents who took a lead and then they surged forward. Very similar trajectory. This one has a slightly different feel to it already. Well, that seemed a mishit, isn't it, from Oh Xuan-Yi? Yeah. He was in two minds. Yeah, well left.
Service over. 2-3.
Danisa Castro and Aswini Morawa, India versus Yuki Fukushima and Sayaka Hirona, Japan. Umpire Muhammad Nata, Indonesia, service judge Henry Boas, Vietnam.
Yeah, from there, he's not going to miss as he fudges Alfian.
Service over. 4-2.
And it would appear that end at the moment is the one that is helping the players out. And if that's the case, then you want to build up as much of a lead as you can before you switch ends at the interval. So the lead is 3. That's pretty decent.
Play on.
We have black and black. What do you choose?
Service over. 3-5.
What is it?
I guess this way.
Yeah, the aggression is there, isn't it? We know they've got it. Plenty of power, and that difficult to return for Oh Xuan-Yi. Probably want to get a 4 or 5 point lead if they can at the best. Alfian and Ardianto before a swap of ends. Seem to be in two minds there. Roger Alfian. Something to be said about these conditions, really. Making their feelings known. There's no sympathy at all for the officials when it comes to admonishing Indonesian players. Oh, that's 3 very quick points for the Chinese pair, all off unforced errors. Didn't make it over. 4 in a row. Well, that is now going to make things a little tricky because they've got the momentum in the Chinese. Actually, 4 of the last 5, I should just correct myself there. And it's, as I said, they want to get as big a lead as they can. They can win this 11-7. That just gives it the first bit anyway. That would stand them in good stead, you feel. Yeah, awkward. An awkward one there from Oh Xuanyi. Will that make it in? I think it did, yes, but no surprises that perhaps because it was a little close to the line that Oh Xuanyi's put his hand up. Not sure how convinced he was, but they haven't had a challenge yet, have they, in this third game, so why not? I think that was pretty much it. It is indeed.
Challenge unsuccessful. One challenge remaining. 9-7. Play. Service over.
Starting to rack up here. These points. 5 of the last 8 have gone Liu and Oh's way. Eventually, they get their points. A nice variation from Alfian and Ardianto. Lots of pace on the return that hits the net. 38 shots, the longest rally. Remember, they want to get to that interval, as many points on the board as possible. The lead is only 2 now, or 1, sorry. If they do get an 11-9 lead Alfian Ardianto, it will just be by 2. It would appear that far end at the moment is the one that favours the players, so this is looking decent for Liu and O. Well, that looked like it might be going out, you know, twice. Which one are you not taking chances? And that one is certainly out. So Alfian Ardianto have a slender lead before they change ends here. It's 11-9 in game 3. Well, vital now. Get as many points I can. Build that cushion. That's happened a few times, isn't it? Really going for those shots. The amount they put into that, the power and pace, right at the top of the tape. So 3 points is about as far as Liu and O want it to be. Good defending for the Chinese. Oh, it doesn't make it over. Just getting in each other's way, perhaps. Another long rally. Well, they really had to survive that one, didn't they, Liu and O? They did a great job. This just wouldn't tumble over. There you go, 56 shots now. Taking a long time here to get this next point going. Just a 1 point in it now. Supporters enjoying themselves. Very, very tight. The Chinese have serve. Again, listen to that. They've drawn level. Excellent. But this is the tightest we've had so far of the 3 games, and well, that's apt, isn't it? The deciding one could go down to the wire. Good reaction so far from Oshwani. Well left.
Service over. 15-14. Okay? Fighter.
Just in front.
Play on. Play now. Service over. 15-all.
Well, it's 1 point at a time now, isn't it? At this point, neither pair able to put on a run of points, which from a neutral point of course makes it fascinating. Yep, it's and now with the Indonesians. They're just alternating points at the moment. This is where, as I mentioned earlier, home advantage should count. In theory, anyway. Well, the pattern continues. Alternating points. The turn of the Chinese pair. $16 all, and now there's a little bit of a treatment here. For Ardianto on his shoulder. Remember, yesterday it was treatment for Gideon. Actually, didn't really. He had a bit of treatment and then he had to retire. Just in front again, it continues. Good, but are they going to contest it? Long discussion here. Well, it was, I actually thought it was in, and the Chinese were discussed, but I think it was actually, in the end, it was called out. In all the confusion, it was a very late challenger because there was, it wasn't so clear. Alfian and Ardianto in the end were asked by the umpire. I think it's the noise as well, it's not helping the situation. And now they are going to check the official review to see what will happen. I thought that was in, but it is well out. To be an official in one of these matches going against the Indonesians, well, not easy. Again, they go ahead. boy. You've got to just see the reaction of the crowd at the moment. Oh, this is emotions going up and down here. Good position. It's such a good position. That's given Liu and O the slender lead of 19. Couldn't put it away. Had that gone over from Ardianto, they would be at 19, you feel. This crowd is just not settling. It's a roller coaster of emotions here. With each and every point, it's literally back and forth. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. They're on a high again. It's even got the VIPs on their feet. That was superbly played. This is already one of the longest matches we've had. Certainly the longest one on court one today. You just cannot hear yourself in this hall, and I'm hoping this is coming out nice and clear to everyone out there watching around the world. This is some fantastic badminton. And the atmosphere is just electric. We're only at the quarterfinals. And that's why, even as neutral, you just want to see some Indonesian representation later on in the tournament. Will it be this? Yes, it might well be. They've set match point, and they've just put their hands up to take it calmly, take it easy. They've got one match point. It's clipped the net. They don't want to get carried away just yet. Everyone getting their phones out now for this potential winner, this match winner coming up. A slender lead here, a slender match point. The crowd willing them on. Oh, doing so well, Oshwanyi. They're really targeting him. But Lin Yu-chen does the business. It's up and down here in the Astora. And we need a winner by 2 now. Oshwanyi, you've got to give him credit. because he was having to withstand all those shots at him. This is such exciting badminton at the moment. Nothing to separate these two. So they've bought themselves some time here. We need one of these pairs to win by 2 clear points. Well, both sides were challenging there because it was unclear whether that was in or out, but I think in the end it was adjudged to be in. Liu Yuchen had put his hand up thinking it was out. Oh, it was right in the corner. It is out. Oh, listen to that. Every decision going their way is being cheered on. Why not? So now, the second match point for Alfian and Ardianto. Xuan Yi gets his measure of revenge. Thumbs up. Well, they'll be smiling in a few minutes from now. It's all getting tense. Some of them can't even look. Chinese looking to put pressure on. They do. They now have their first match point. Well, it will be a big come down here if Alfian and Ardianto lose. We saw that yesterday when these two, Liu and O, disposed of Sukamuljo and Gideon. So now the pressure on, and the crowd responding. And they broke into song just for a short while. It's definitely going to feel the tension now, but it'll be a big roar if they can save this. Well, that's one saved. They're all square again. Point number 3 for Alfian and Ardianto.
23-22.
Now, if they can do this, oh boy, this place is going to go off. Phones are up again. Third time lucky, perhaps, for Alfian and Ardianto. Oh, the sheer strength behind that, the sheer force on that shuttle has carried it over, and an acknowledgement from Liu Chen. They've held their nerve 3 times now. Aggressive from Oh Xuanyi. Oh, he dived just a little too late. Fajar Alfian couldn't get there. It's a second match point.
23. Okay, back and forth. Back and forth.
Oh. Still alive, this one. Oh, what defense! Liu Chen and Oh Xuanyi, brilliant. Now it's going the other way. Oh Xuanyi does it! What a match we have just had here. In a repeat of the Indonesia Open, right here in the Astora, in the quarterfinal stage. Liu Chen and Oh Xuanyi have again beaten Fajar Alfian and Muhammad Rian Ardianto in a classic match that has swung back and forth. And the crowd has really played their part. And they're gracious in defeat as well. They've given them quite the send-off. They played their part, but it was not quite enough. What a rally. This one, like the match, like the third game, swung back and forth. And it's Oh Xuanyi who got the winner. And another Indonesian pair and player has gone out of this competition. Liu Chen and Oh Xuanyi have beaten Fajar Alfian and Muhammad Rian Ardianto 11-21, 21-13, 25-23 in 78 minutes of pulsating badminton. Well, it's been a tremendous match we've just had between Liu Chen Oshwani, Fajar Alfian and Muhammad Rian Ardianto. It's a bit of a come down, I have to admit, from the crowd, who've really enjoyed that, but unfortunately it didn't go their way. We now go to mixed doubles on court one. The 6 seeds from Malaysian Goshen Wat and Lai Siobhan Jamie take on Tom Jikel and Delphine Delroux, the 3rd seeded French players.